Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome to my arena card reviews. Alright, so first of all, off the bat, I'm going to tell you guys I've spent the last 4 hours of my life trying to record this video, and I failed at every imaginable way. So I may sound a little jaded when I do this, but I'm going to pretty much give you guys the rules on how this works. I'm going to be making card reviews, I'm going to be releasing a video every day up to and after the expansion. 3 o'clock Eastern. You guys can come check me out. My first set of card reviews are going to be based on arena only. Reasons being is because I think that it's silly to do anything more than arena. Because realistically, before all the cards are released, you don't really have a good scope on what's going to be the new meta or any ideas. So you end up making a lot of speculations that are based purely off of the current meta. And that's silly when the meta is going to change as soon as the expansion gets released. Hopefully, right? So let's go ahead and begin and make this quick. Branching paths. So, my thing about these kind of cards is you have to think about it like this. Does this card work on curve? No. The card on turn 4, the last thing you want to do is waste 4 mana in arena to draw a card, draw 2 cards, or gain 6 armor. There might be some fringe situations where if you have a minion on board and you just need 1 attack, you can switch to 1 attack and draw a card. But if you do that play, or give them any 1 attack and gain 6 armor. But if you do that play, however, you are going to be at a major tempo disadvantage because most likely you're going to trade into if your minion is like, let's just say it's like a 3 mana 3/4 and somebody coined out a 4/4, right? Because on average a 4 health minion is what you're going to need to kill. You give it an attack, you trade into it. That essentially doesn't, you've given up your board state to your opponent, which in turn your opponent now has tempo. So you may have had 1 card, but the thing about it is that that's just how that's going to end up turning out. So in my opinion, this card is, I will say, a 3-star card. Call to arms. Recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. So this card is pretty good. First of all, let me run down the ratios on how these things like this work. Things from your deck that you need to keep in your deck to sum it out. For example, i.e. patches. Patches, on average, you want 2 to 3 pirates, so that way patches is less likely to draw into your hand, right? So this card recruits 3 minions. So on average, you're going to be hard mulliganing for a 1 and 2 drop early game, which means you need to have at least 1, 2, or 1 cost minion to count for this card. So that's 1. You need to have at least 3 extras in your deck to make this value, so that way when you do draw this on turn 4, you're not just cringing. And then you need some sort of buffer room, right? Because this is a turn 4 card, so we accounted for the opening turn 1 phase. Between the turn 2 and turn 3 phase, let's say you draw your 1 and 2 drops as well. That means you would need about 6 cards that are 2 or 1 drops to make this effective. Now, what does that mean? On average, you're trying to draft at least 6 2 or 1 drop cards, right? Because you want to be able to get a good opening, and then you want to be able to lead into the late game. And a lot of times those cards become liabilities. Like, you may get a Mistress of Mixtures, for example, and she's great on turn 1, but when you're in top deck mode, you don't want to see her. This card gives you a way to mitigate that to improve your draws for the rest of the game. So if you have 6 2 or 1 cost cards, and you draft 1 call to arms, and let's say you play 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop call to arms, that is like a setup for success like none other. You are most likely going to win that arena match if you get that curve. It is disgusting. But if you get more than 1 of these, it's almost guaranteed to be dead at one point or another. There's times you're going to top deck this and you might not have anything in the deck. And there's times you may top deck it and you may just straight up win, because the rest of your draws are guaranteed, almost guaranteed to be 3 or higher. So on that note for Arena, I will give Call to Arms, if drafted right, at least 3 stars. Maybe 4, but just to be safe, I'll say 3. Next card, Carnivorous Cube. I call this the meme cube. This cube is amazing. This is probably the best thing they've ever made. So Carnivorous Cube, Battlecry, destroy friendly minion, death rattle, summon 2 copies of it. Let's give a fringe crazy example, which may only happen once a game. Who knows how many, whatever. But it is a possibility. This is a thing. This can happen. So let's say you drop something like a high main, right? Then on the turn after, you drop a dark speaker on the high main to give it death rattle, summon it again, whatever, right? And your opponent is scared to attack it because they're gonna have to deal with another high main, right? So they don't want to get rid of it, but the dark speaker's on the board, so they probably trade off the dark speaker effectively, and then they go face, right? Because the last thing they want to deal with is a high main, a 6/5, and 2/2/2s. Then you Carnivorous Cube the high main. You trade the high main into you value trade the high main into something if there's a value trade available. You Carnivorous Cube, the high main dies, summons another high main, summons 2/2/2s. That when the cube dies, the cube summons 2/6/5s that summon 2/2/2s each, which summons full. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It is absurd the things this card can do. It is amazing what this card is. This is going to be... Granted, he's epic. Thank God he's epic. Because if he was common, he'd be absolutely ridiculous in Arena. But there are going to be games that are going to just be completely devastating because of this guy. And I love it. I absolutely love it. He is going to single... I think the existence of this card alone is going to force people to either deal with death rattles or win immediately. That's pretty much what he's gonna do in Arena, because the ability to value trade, then get 2 more copies of it with a presence is absolutely amazing. I mean, granted, you lose the minion off the board, but if you play this card right, I mean, it's definitely a 4 out of 5 card. For the meme value, it's memeing its salt levels. It's 5 out of 5. Salt level 5 out of 5. Cataclysm. Alright, so Cataclysm, destroy minion, discard your hand. Now this card is really made for discard Warlock. However, what I will say is it's not a terrible Arena card. It's alright. The benefits to this card is that there are going to be times where you're in a top deck situation, and if you're on turn 8, 9, 10, you can Cataclysm, life tap, maybe get a 4-drop, and get tempo that way. It's gonna be pretty devastating. It's like a last minute, a last hurrah type deal. It's exceptionally good if both you and your opponents are out of cards, because Warlocks don't believe in not having cards in any way, shape, or form. So if you and your opponent both in top deck mode and you Cataclysm, you pretty much gonna win the game off that. So I'll say for the chances, this is like a pretty good one of as a shoot button if need be. So especially if you happen to draft like a Silverware Golem, it's pretty good. So I'll at least give this card a 3-star card. Cheat Death. Lord knows why they haven't added secrets to Rogue. I have played Rogue all my life. I played Rogue in Vanilla WoW. I played Rogue even recent expansions of WoW. I love the Rogue class. It is my favorite class ever. When I heard this game had a Rogue in it, I played it, and when I saw all the other classes have secrets and Rogue didn't have secrets, I was like, really? Really, guys? You're not going to make secrets for Rogue? Really? Are you seriously not going to do this? And it has always baffled me that Rogues never had secrets. It really has. And granted, finally, little late, but they finally get secrets. It is a common card. It's a nice cheap card that makes something that comes back to your hand cheap as well. So it really increases the value of cards like Valspine Slayer and SI7 agents and things like that. It really does what rogues want to do. They want to get tempo and keep tempo. So this is a pretty good arena card. And since they're not really a big token class, this is a really, really solid arena card. I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 at least. Crushing Walls. Man, if any other class had this would have been really scary. Hunters, when they draft arena, hunters, because of their hero power, they have to draw more 1s and 2 drops than everybody else if they want to win arena. Because if they do not start off with that opening card, they lose. So a card that's a 7 mana card that destroys 2 minions is just too slow. It's just Hunter's game plan. If they get to this point, they're most likely not going to win anyway, right? Because they have no other way except for every draw they have to control the board. And a control card like this in arena just... I mean, there are going to be some fringe decks that can use it, that can make use out of it. I mean, you can use it to like get rid of a taunt or something. On the left side, we can manipulate it. They can use it like that, but it's Hunter. It's Hunter, and that's just unfortunate. So this is definitely going to be on my list as a 2-star card, especially since it's epic. So it's definitely a 2-star card. So Deck of Wonders. So I did some research on this card, and I realized this card it works exactly like Mini Yogg-Saron. It shuffles 5 scrolls into your deck. When you draw them, you cast a random spell. Now, I don't know if they have the rogue effect. I don't know if after you draw it and use it, you draw another card. I don't think you do. I think you just draw it and you cast a random cast. You could Power Blast your own face. You can Flame Strike their board. You can Kings one of your minions. It just does something. And on average, because of the nature of cards, on average, it may do something decent, but it's just bad all together because you've wasted 5 mana on technically what is nothing. You burned 5 mana on 0 turn, right? So you've given up a lot of tempo to play this card in arena, or even constructed for that matter. So the payout needs to be worth it, and since it's just like Yogg-Saron, this card is trash. It's definitely a 1-star card. Now, salt level wise, it is a 5-star card. Because there are going to be times where you Deck of Wonders and draw into a Flame Strike, and you meme your opponent and you laugh. And when it does that, it's going to be legendary. Or it's going to meteor your opponent and clear their board. And you're just going to destroy them, right? And in that sense, the card is amazing. But that's just not gonna be the case most of the time. But it's, as far as a meme card, it is a 5-star. 5-star memer. It's a 5-star meme card. Dragon Soul, 3 mana, 0/3. If you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. This is simple. On average, you're not gonna get more than 3 spells ever in a priest deck. I do have some terrible constructed ideas about this card to make it work. Some very, very, very terrible constructed ideas that I've had to make this card work. But I'm going to try it anyway when the expansion releases. But on average, this card is terrible. It'll never activate. And when it does activate, in Arena, it might just be once or twice. It's terrible. It might just get weapon removed by accident. It's a terrible card. Aluneth. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. 6 mana. Mage. Weapon. Terrible. It's a terrible card. You waste 6 mana on the turn for at the end of your turn to draw 3 cards. That's a lot of advantage you're giving up for that turn just to draw 3 cards. The next 3 cards you draw better cost like half its cost and nuke the board and summon like a 8/8 with taunt for it to be anywhere worth sacrificing an entire turn to draw 3 cards at the end of your turn. Now, granted, there are situations where you will be in top deck mode, and you will equip this and draw 3 cards. The problem is the 3 cards don't happen at the end of your turn, and if you're on turn 10 and you top deck this and you equip it and you draw 3 cards, your opponent is most likely just going to summon. You basically have to pray that on your opponent's next turn they do not summon a big minion, and if they do summon a big minion, you have to pray that you have the right amount of removal and other card to get it. Now, if your opponent is unlucky and they do not draw top deck anything good, and you top deck nothing else but greatness, after that you're going to slowly grind out the game. But this is a fringe situation that's rarely ever going to happen, so therefore you can't rely on it as a good arena card. Therefore, this is a 1-star arena card. Arcane Artificer. I am not high on this card. It is a common card. Now, I'm not high on it for constructed. I am a little high on it for arena, kind of, sort of. Not for the reasons you think. I don't care about the armor. The elemental tag is kind of almost irrelevant to me. My thing is that the a 1-mana 1/2 common slot, that is really good for arena, because a lot of issues classes have is drawing 1-mana cards, right? Now mages have this and Mana Worm that they can draft, and this is a very high likely 1-mana draft. A 1-mana card, being able to drop this on turn 1 and have it on the board to trade up on turn 2 and 3. It's not really pingable because of 2 body. This card is pretty good as a stat stick. But that's about it. You know, having their drafts will just be a little bit more consistent when it comes to 1, 2, and 3 drops, and that's really all it really does. You know, other than that, armor is kind of irrelevant in arena. You really don't care. You're really not going to be affected. Health is just a resource in arena to win, and it's not necessarily that valuable. Arcane Tyrant. 5 mana, cost 0 if you cast a spell, cost 5 or more this turn. For most classes, this is going to be absolutely useless. Most classes don't have high impact spells that are above 5 mana. The only class I can think about is Mage. Mage has a couple high cost spells. Paladins, if they have like a Laying of Hands, this is a good top deck Laying of Hands turn, kind of, sort of. It's like 8 mana, summon a 4/4, draw 3 cards, which is whatever. Mage is the most ridiculous thing I can think about is Firelance Portal. Summon a 5/5, drop a 5 mana 4/4, which is like the equivalent of like a 4 mana stats worth. So that's like 9 mana in minion value alone on average, with 5 damage to a minion, which is disgusting. Or Druids, they can Infestation and have a 5/5 and a 4/4. So they have 9/9 worth of stats on the board that you have to deal with. Those are pretty crazy, especially since Druid like draws like 5 cards. So Infestation in arena, if you own this card and you nuke something for 10 and it summons a 5/5, that is absolutely disgusting. That is crazy good. So other than that, that's about it. Benevolent Djinn. I think this is the last card. This card is terrible. I don't know why it's not a 3/4. As a class card, it should have been a 3/4. In arena, you're just not going to care about this card. If you can trade into it effectively, you will. If not, you won't. You don't care about health value. You don't care about health gain or health totals. If you manage to draft that card, I forgot what it's called, the 2/6 card that whenever it heals, it gets value on the board, then you can see some cute things go off with it. But that's it. This card just doesn't do anything. Like, it's low impact. The ending effect, you don't care. There's no specific paladin elementals at the moment that work with it, and even if there is, this is arena we're talking about. So I hate this card. I wish Blizzard would have did something better. And that's it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please like, dislike, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I'll be making new videos every day. I'll be starting with a full arena review of all the cards available. Check back every day for videos. Since right now I have to put out so many videos, You can expect a few sporadically sprinkled between 3, but there will be a video scheduled on 3 every day for the Kobolts and Catacombs. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Like, dislike, comment, and subscribe if need be. And thanks for watching.